Jennie, you guys got up to a 15-point lead early there in the first quarter, and then it kind of came back. What does it say about your guys' resiliency that you guys were able to pull this one out?
Well, one, I think it just talks about both teams being really good, and it's a game of runs. They are so good. They're really, really good, and I hope that I hope we both get a host. You know, we've been in a couple different leagues, and they're so talented. They're deep. They're experienced. Every mistake that we would make at all, they'd capitalize on it, and they capitalize on it with threes. So that's part of it, and I'm really proud of our team staying with it, continuing to learn, trying to get better. You know, these days are hard. They're awesome and they're hard. And you could see the emotion kind of coming out in us, but I'm really proud of the way that we just tried to stay steady and keep it as much of a basketball game as you could. And at the same time, it was pretty special to see that the rest of us kind of played for our seniors. And when you have that and you have that kind of depth, then really great things are going to continue to come.
You had a great sequence when Reagan gets hurt. I mean, she's trying to get up, and I think she banged knees or whatever, and yet the officials didn't stop it. Payton gets that block, and you guys kept playing, and you actually win that sequence by 2 points, I think. I don't know if you remember the sequence, but it's a...
Yeah, I know. We were just
game.
talking about this on the radio, and I was like, the mom came out in me, and I'm like, you're fine.
You told me.
Yep. So I parent the same way. I don't know if that's good, but... So I'm sorry, I don't even know what your question is. I know what the sequence is.
That sequence, I thought it was a key sequence in the game.
Well, it feels like they were all key sequences. I mean, you have to start the way that you started. I was really proud of the way we started. Obviously, not how we finished. And I think, you know, it has been a challenge this year for us, and obviously for other teams. But we have no familiarity with anybody in the league, and so when you're playing everybody for the first time, you're really trying to live learn fast. And that's a little bit more challenging, I think, than maybe we thought. You're constantly playing an NCAA tournament game. You know, it's that kind of level of intensity. It's, you know, you think you're there and the shot goes up. I mean, these guys can shoot the ball. And so, and that's not one player. That's a lot of players on their team. And so, you know, we're like, nope, we're not there. We got to get closer. Nope, we're not there. We got to get closer. I don't know if we ever got close enough, but I do think we did some things that were pretty good. But I was really proud of our depth today.
Payton, you want to talk about those final free throws, pretty much kind of the seal of the game there. What were you thinking on the line there after just splitting the ones just before that?
Honestly, I was just thinking I was going to make them. But obviously, when I missed the first one, I was like, okay, give me the ball back maybe. But I don't know. I just think that it also says a lot about my team that they have the confidence in me to give me the ball at the end. And obviously, we knew, and we've been in games like this that are close at the end. And we've lost some, we've won some. So I think just trying to do whatever it takes to win.
Jennie, I think you said after the Texas game that this is, you know, it can be a tough schedule, long season, and you guys went through a rough patch there. You now won 7 in a row. Looks like you guys are probably going to host a regional. Just how do you feel like this group is playing their best basketball at the right time?
I think this group has grown together a lot, and there were plenty of opportunities to exit, and there were plenty of opportunities to feel sorry for ourselves, and there were plenty of opportunities to say what was us. But instead we didn't, and we keep showing up. And you know, we were talking about this as a coaching staff just yesterday in practice. When you start March practice, and really most of the time through February practice, they don't really want to be there or see you. And sometimes the feeling's mutual, right? But I love showing up every day. I think their energy is really good. I think in the last few weeks they've grown closer, and you can see it on the floor just kind of blossoming. You can see the depth, you can see the balance, you can see the let's cover for each other. Sky had a tough night, so other people picked it up, but nobody was mad. Everyone's like, okay, I just got to do it for her. And I think that was something that this team has continued to do, is really try to cover for each other. And when you cover for each other, you don't feel bad for each other, you just cover for each other. And when you cover for each other, then you know you love each other even more, that you can tell each other the truth. And so they're telling each other the truth, they're growing, and therefore it's coming out on the floor at the right time. So do I think that we're rolling at the right time? I think so. But again, I don't care if you're winning or losing, if you're getting better and you're playing. I mean, now obviously you want to win every game you play. But you can tell right now we're playing different. We're playing better. We're more connected on the floor on both ends. And so, and obviously it's a good time to do that. Now I feel the same about Alabama. I think they're pretty good right now too.
Okay, same question. Do you feel like you guys as a group have really come together and are playing good basketball at the right time?
Absolutely. I mean, we have such a long season too that I think our seniors have done a great job of stepping up and I think really setting that culture for us this year. And like you said, I mean, we went through a tough patch and now obviously we won 7 in a row and I feel like it's easy for people to feel good when we're winning. But I think that our seniors brought that like when we were going through the rough patch too. And I think it started then and now it's blossoming. And I mean, obviously, again, she said Alabama is really, they're turning to right now. And I think that's probably a lot of SEC teams right now. I mean, there's a bunch of gamers in this conference. So I know when postseason tournaments come around, everyone's going to be feeling good. So we're excited.
Jennie, you kind of know going into the SEC to a point what to expect. I mean, you know, like.
Well, at least we've played people before, so we at least know our point, yeah.
You know, and so like from a standpoint of the dialogue going into it, how good the SEC is. Now you've played your full regular season slate. I'm just interested. Is there any kind of takeaways, whether it was reaffirming what you had heard, you know, kind of going into this conference, or maybe new takeaways from that now experiencing it firsthand that you have playing through this full SEC slate?
I mean, the SEC is so good. And I think exactly kind of what Payton said. I mean, and I'll expand on it a little, like you're not just playing against people that can play, you're playing against, you know, future WNBA players, you're playing against future Olympians. You know, it's very good. And there's a lot of different teams, there's different styles. The crowds are intense, every game is intense, everybody's a fan. So that part has been different. I think people could come to a game and not know who you're playing and they're coming for their team. These guys know you, they know your faults, they know they're just as much knowing a scouting report as everybody else when we go to other places. So it's a different level of support for women's basketball. And I know that it's been in the national spotlight, obviously, for a few teams, us being new. You know, you don't know what to expect because you kind of feel like, oh, well, we were good too. This is different level. SEC's different level. It just is. And I've heard that, and I've heard the night in, the night out, and all that. And that's no disrespect because I think the Big 12's really good too. I'm just saying from my experience, especially this season, it's pretty phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Payton trying to stop their guards. I mean, Sarah's a really good player, and so is Green. Talk about that matchup today and what that was like with your guards. I mean, that was a cool matchup to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like we see like just how strong players are in this conference, especially guards. Like we see that Alabama, they're a great team, and obviously, like you said, I mean, every single player on that team is great. And I just think that really just trying to hone in on our scout and knowing that it came down to team defense. Like we couldn't leave people on islands. People are too good in this conference to leave on islands. And so I thought that Lexi and Zaya did a great job, and Skylar was on her too. I just thought that, I mean, we have to limit and make their shots tough, and I thought that we did that sometimes, and obviously sometimes we need to, me speaking, get up and guard and not let the three go in so easy, but I mean, they're tough players, and I think the reality is at the end of the day, you just have to win the game.
Jennie, I know you still have the SEC tournament to focus on, but do you feel like this team deserves to host a regional, and what would that mean to have a regional here in Norman?
I think there's no question this team deserves it, and obviously we have to go and play really well. And I think I don't even question that we're going to play well because they love each other and care about each other so much that they're just having so much fun playing. Like we're going to play well. Obviously, you want the result to go your way. But no, I think it's important, especially the last couple years we've been knocking on the door, and the year before that we weren't ready for it, and so now we want it. We really want to host it. We need people to keep coming. You know, we need more people to come. We need to show that Oklahoma is important, and that goes with the NCAA tournament on a national level. That our game is as high as it's ever been. We need to make that more in our state. We need to get more people. And also in the SEC, you're not going to places, the top teams in the country are averaging, 5 figures. Mm-hmm. It's different. They're averaging that. On an icy day, you go to Tennessee and they're at 11,000. Going to South Carolina where it's literally 18,000 people. It's 18,000. You can't, and they're in it. It's not just people that just maybe paid for a ticket or didn't actually show up and there's empty seats. Like they're there. So it's different. Playing at LSU, that was different. Those places, there's a reason that they win. And the reason they win is because they've really built an incredible fan base that supports them. And so we just need to continue to build our fan base. I thought they were loud. I thought they were engaged. I was so proud of that. I felt so good about it. And it had an impact on the outcome of the game. You cannot tell me that it didn't. Especially when we had to get a defensive stop, that's when our fans were on their feet. And guess what? We got the defensive stop when we couldn't before that. So we want to continue to have fans really engaged and invested in this team. And I think when you come and you watch and you fall in love with the team, because I know the team falls in love with our fans too.
And you were hyping them up too.
I did today. Well, when they didn't stand up, I made them. But when I first got here, I knew everyone by name, and I could call everyone and tell them to stand up. Today, I didn't know half the people, so it was awesome.
Jennie, it was senior day. How have these 5 seniors been so impactful for this program?
What an experience that they've had. And, this class obviously went through COVID and their first year. And so that was their first year of college athletics and school. And it was different. And, they didn't get their graduations in high school. So everything was just different all of a sudden. And those are really impactful years for young people. And, you look at, what they've been able to, and I have each one of them in my head, but you look at what they've been able to do. I mean, they've cut nets down. And when they first stepped on campus, I don't know if that's what they were thinking about. And then, they went from not being where they wanted to be to cutting nets down to then being in the SEC. You look at like Liz Scott and, her coming back for her 6th year. You look at most players don't want to do that, but isn't it so awesome to be able to see her in the SEC? And if she didn't have all those things that she had to deal with and grow through, she wouldn't have had this opportunity. And so, God works in mysterious ways and puts us together for reasons. And this class is one that you can tell is a legacy class. And it's more than winning. It's about what kind of impact they want to have on each other. And every one of them want this program to be better tomorrow than it was today. And I think that speaks just volumes of the culture and foundation, but of those women.
Jennie, you mentioned the foundation there. To follow up on that, if it feels like this class is the foundation, like kind of Maddie, Taylor, and Anna were kind of the bridge between you and Sherry, and this class was the foundation for what a Jennie Baranczyk Oklahoma program is going to look like. When you think about that aspect, the foundation and the standards set and things of that nature from specifically this class that is going to carry on to be the standards for this program under your kind of leadership, what kind of sticks out to you from these seniors?
I'm glad you asked that, because I don't know if there's actually a difference in the coaching era. I think Sherry said it to me best in my first year. We get to be the gatekeepers of the program, but you're not always the culture setter. The players are the culture setters. The players are the ones that are in the locker room. The players are the ones that are building each other up. The players are the ones that on a really tough day, when it's cold outside and they're having a hard time crying in the shower, they're the ones that are there for each other. So as much as we try to protect at all costs, and we want to pour in and we want to make sure that they love each other and they care about each other and they grow, we want them to have fun. We want them to love their experience and, oh, by the way, be disciplined and learn all these life lessons, and they want to win every game. But I don't necessarily separate myself from the program, the teams that played 20 years ago. I think we all get to wear this incredible jersey and represent this incredible program. So I think it's just whoever comes here, we're very protective to make sure they're incredible people first. And at the same time, man, there's been some amazing women that have come through this program. On the floor and off the floor, and they just continue to pour in. So I don't really separate it, but I am really proud of this class.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Jennie.
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys. Appreciate you. Boomer.